So students, today we'll be dealing with the last chapter of management accounting, that is the budgetary control. So before starting the chapter, we have to know the meaning of some basic terms such as budget, budgeting and budgetary control. So let's start first with the meaning of budget. So first coming to the meaning of budget. So budget is nothing but a statement showing the estimated income and expenditure for a future period of time. So I repeat, budget is nothing but a statement showing statement statement showing estimated. So budget is nothing but a statement showing estimated income and expenditure to be incurred in future period. So here a budget always help us to know what will be our income and expenditure in the future period. To take an example, so every month suppose you are having a pocket money of rupees 1000. So you were having a monthly income of rupees 1000. So for estimation, in that month you are having a friend's birthday. So you know that priorly. So your one expenditure will be you have to contribute rupees 200 for your friend's birthday. So out of rupees 1000, you will keep 200 aside for your friend's birthday. So now you're remaining with another 800 rupees. So this 800 rupees will be your remaining income. So again you are having one more expenditure, that you have to purchase a book of rupees 100. So your next future expenditure will be rupees 100, which you have to purchase a book. So now you are remaining only with 700 rupees as your income, and in that 700 rupees you have to manage the whole month. So this is called as budget. Budget help us to know the estimated income and expenditure which we are going to incur in the future period. So now you may ask, why do we require budget? We require budget so that our day-to-day activity doesn't get a stop. For example, if I spend more than the amount or income which I am going to receive after some day, then that time I will be under a debt. So it's a very crucial situation for any company to be under a debt. So for every company, before starting any activity, they will prepare a estimated budget so that the company doesn't go into loss, so that they know their limit, how much should be their expenditure and what are income they have to receive. So that's the reason we go for preparing of budget. Now coming to the meaning of budgeting. So budgeting is nothing but preparing plan in respect of future financial and physical requirement is called as budgeting. So budgeting is nothing but preparing future plan. Is called as preparing. The process of predicting the future and preparing a plan is called as budgeting. The process of preparing a budget is called as budgeting. Now coming to the last term, that is budget control. So budget control is nothing but controlling the budget of all the departments of the company so that they perform within the targeted budget and able to achieve their goals. So in company there are n number of departments. So every department prepares its own budget, and at last they present it in the front of board directors. The director at last prepares the final budget for all the departments, and budget control is nothing but the supervisor or the manager have to see that all the department works within that estimated budget given to that department. This is called as budget control, controlling the activity of all the departments to see that all the department works within the given budget to them to fulfill their given goals and activities is called as budget control. Now coming to the types of budget, there are n number of times flexible, unflexible, long-term budget, short-term budget, current budget, and n number of types. But when we keep your examination point of view, there are 4 budgets we are going to run in this semester. They are: first one, material budget; second one, production budget; flexible budget; and the last and important one is cash budget. So we'll be dealing with these 4 types of budget, that is material, production, flexible, and cash budget. Coming to your first budget, that is material budget. So material budget is prepared to forecast the total quantity of material required during the period for production of a particular product. I repeat, material budget is prepared to forecast the total quantity of material required during the production of a particular product. So how much quantity of material we require to produce one product is estimated by making the material budget. So we are going to calculate material budget by multiplying gross quantity of output multiply by quantity of material required per unit of output. This is nothing but gross quantity of output, how much output we require to produce, multiply by quantity of material required per unit of output is nothing but how much material you require to produce 1 unit of that output. Then we will get the total material required for production during that particular period. Now coming to the format of material purchase budget. So coming to the format, so think that we are going to produce 2 product A and B, and we require 2 type of material for it, say X and Y. So my material required are X and Y. I am going to produce 2 product A and B. So first one I need to calculate it is my budgeted production. How much production I am going to do for my product A and product B. How much production do I require for that given period of time? First I have to find out that. To this add your closing stock. Closing stock is nothing but the opening balance of this year. Closing stock. To this less your opening stock you will get your material required. Get the material required. To this multiply rate per unit, you will get your budgeted purchase. That is how much material you are going to purchase to produce product A and B. This is the format. I will just repeat it again. First you have to find out how much is your budgeted output for the year. So I am having here 2 materials A and B. and I'm going to prepare two product A and B for the given year. To this projected production, add your closing stock, then less the opening stock. You will get your material required to produce product A and B. To this multiply rate per unit of material, you will get your budgeted purchase for the given year. Now let's solve one sum on this method. So this is the first sum which we are going to solve. This sum was asked in the year 2017 for 5 marks. Let's go for the sum. So here they are saying the sales manager of Hubli Limited sells 60,000 units of a certain product. The production manager consults the storekeeper and estimates two kinds of raw material A and B are required to manufacture the product. Each unit of product requires 5 units of A and 8 units of B. So estimated stock of material for the budgeted period are as follows. Opening stock for material A is 15,000 and material B is 20,000, and closing stock for material A is 18 and material B is 25,000. They have asked us to prepare the material required budget for the next year. So here the question simply says that a sales manager of Hubli is selling 60,000 units of a particular product, and you produce that product, you require two type of materials, material A and material B, and 1 unit of product requires 5 unit of A and 8 unit of B to produce one product. So they have given you the estimated stock, that is opening and closing stock, and you are required to prepare the budget for the next year. So as I said you all in the format, we have to start with budgeted quantities, units to be produced. So always all the units which we produce we are not going to sell. Most of the time we produce 70,000 units and sell only 60,000 units. So they have given us no information regarding how many units have been produced. So that's the reason our first calculation will be calculation of unit produced. So let's start with the solution. First one will be calculation of units to be produced. So first we will start with sales. So how many units are we selling? So given in the question we are selling 60,000 units. To this add your closing stock, that is closing stock given in the question combined for A and B is 20,000. So 60,000 plus 20,000 will amount to 80,000. To this rest your opening stock, that is 15,000 given in the question. You will have 65,000 as your units to be produced. So you are going to produce 65,000 units for the next year. Now coming to the material required budget. Let's start with the format. Particular material A and material B. So let's start. So first we will start with material required for 65,000 units. We are going to produce 65,000 units. So material required for production of 65,000 units, it will be, so they have given in the question to produce one product will require 5 units of A and 8 units of B. So similarly 65,000 in material required of A will be 65,000 unit into 5, and similarly material of B type will require 65,000 unit into 8. So 65,000 into 5 will come to 3,25,000, and 65,000 into 8 will come to 5,20,000. Now for this add your closing stock. So closing stock given in the question, for material A it is 18,000 and for material B it is 25,000. So for material A 18,000 and for material B it is 25,000. So 3,25,000 plus 18,000 will come to around 3,43,000, and 5,20,000 plus 25,000 will come around to 5,45,000. To this less your opening stock. So opening stock given in the question is, for material A it is 15,000 and for material B it is 20,000. So 3,43,000 minus 15,000 will give you 3,28,000, and 5,45,000 minus 20,000 will amount to 5,25,000. So this is nothing but materials required. So total amount of material required to produce 65,000 unit of a product is, for material A it is 3,28,000 and material B is 5,25,000. So this will end your first sum. The next, coming to your next budget, is your flexible budget. But before discussing flexible budget, we will discuss about fixed budget. So fixed budget is a budget which will not change irrespective of the change in activity. Whatever there may be increase in production or decrease in production, but the fixed budget will not change. The budget will remain as it is for the given period of time. So that's the reason fixed budget is not recommended for any type of industries. Most of the industries will go for flexible budget. The reason is flexible budget will go on changing as per the change in activity. If the output increases or the production increases, the budgeted amount will also increase. If the activity or the production decreases, even your budget will also decrease for the given number of period. That's the reason most of the industries go for preparing of flexible budget. That is the meaning of flexible budget is nothing but a budget described to change in accordance with the level of activity actually obtained. So it is nothing but the budget which changes with the change in activity or change in production activity is called as flexible budget. The flexible budget divides its expenditure into 3 times, that is divides its cost into 3 types: fixed cost, variable cost and semi-variable cost. I repeat, fixed cost, variable cost and semi-variable cost. Coming first to the meaning of fixed cost. Fixed costs are the cost which your industry incurs, and every year there will be no change in the fixed cost. It will remain same for every accounting period. The example of fixed cost is nothing but the rent paid on the building, which if you have taken the building or rent, the rent paid on the building is your fixed cost. Then coming to variable costs are the costs which change as per the change in output. I repeat, variable costs are those costs which change as per the change in the output. Your packaging cost is nothing but a variable cost. As the number of units produced increasing, the number of packaging cost will also increase. Now coming to the last one, semi-variable cost. Semi-variable costs are nothing but the cost of which half part is fixed and another half part is variable. The best example is your electricity bill. Even though for that month you have not used your electricity, you have been out of station, you have used, if you have not used your electricity, even though, but also you have to give some electricity charges. For example, electricity charges, say about 200 rupees is fixed. It is for the meter charges what we say. So 200 rupees is your meter charges. Apart from 200, whatever you incurred is the electricity consumption bill. For example, say in a month, for a month you have incurred 500 rupees as your electricity bill. Of this 500 rupees, 200 is your meter charges and remaining 300 is the electric consumption bill. So even in a month, if you don't use your electricity, still you have to pay rupees 200. So this will come under semi-variable cost, that is half is fixed and another half is variable as per the consumption rate. So depending on this, let's solve a sum on flexible budget. Okay, sorry, before starting the sum, I will give you the format for flexible budget. So particular amount. So flexible budget will always start with sales, the estimated sales for that year. To this, your first expenditure will be your variable cost. So if you all remember the cost sheet, all the prime cost, that is your direct material, direct labor, direct expenses will come under variable cost. Material, labor, salary, any expense, any direct expenses will come under variable cost. Your next expenditure will be, add it, you will get your total variable cost. Then your second expenditure will be semi-variable expenses. So semi-variable expenses may be your electricity bill, salesman salary will come under semi-variable expenses. Add this both, you will get your total semi-variable expenses. Your next cost or expenses will be your fixed cost. So fixed cost may be rent and tax, your depreciation charges, management salary. These are some of the examples for fixed cost. Add it, you will get your total fixed cost. So your next one will be your total cost. So total cost is nothing but A plus B plus C, that is nothing but variable cost plus semi-variable cost plus fixed cost will give your total cost. So next one is, we have to find out profit or loss. So this we can do by sales minus your total cost. You will get the profit or loss for that particular period. So this is the format of flexible budget. So let's solve one sum on flexible budget. So here is your question. This question was asked in the year 2019, 10 marks. So here they are saying the cost of an article at a capacity of level 5000 unit is given below. Draw a flexible budget for 8000 and 12000 capacity level, and they have given you the expenses incurred for the 5000 units. It's nothing but to produce 5000 units. These are the expenses incurred. Same we have to find out for rupees 8000 and 12000 capacity level. So let's start with the solution. So prepare 4 columns: particular, output 5000, output that is 8000, and output for 12000. So 5000 they only have given us the directly all the expenses. So as in the question they have not given us sales, so directly we will go for our variable cost. So coming to the question, the variable costs here are your material cost, labor, expenses will come under your variable cost. So starting first with material. So for 5000 unit of output you require material of rupees 50,000. These are all in rupees. You require 50,000 of materials to produce 5000 unit of output. So for 8000 unit of output, how much material do you require? So there are two ways to find out. Either you can go for cross multiplication, or you can go for to find out price per unit. So my best advice is to first find out the cost per unit. So start with the working note. So my first working note will be material cost per unit. So we know our output is 5000 unit and our total cost for that for material cost is 50,000. So cost per unit is nothing but total cost divided by the output. So our total cost here is 50,000 divided by 5000. Our cost per unit will be rupees 50. I repeat, formula for cost per unit is nothing but total cost divided by output. So the total cost for 5000 unit of output is 50,000 divided by 5000. The cost will come to rupees 10 per unit. So the material cost per unit is rupees 10. So similarly, we are going to find for 8000 unit and 12000 unit is nothing but 8000 into 10 will give you 80,000, and for 12000 it will be 12,000 into 10, that is 1,20,000. Now coming to the labor cost. So they have said in the question, labor cost for 5000 unit is 30,000. So our next working note will be calculation of labor cost per unit. The formula remains same. Cost per unit is equal to total cost divided by output. So total labor cost was 30,000 and output was 5,000. So 30,000 divided by 5,000, the cost per unit will be rupees 6 per unit. Your labor cost is rupees 6 per unit. So here also your labor cost is decided of 6 per unit. So for 8000 unit it will be 8000 into 6 which will amount to 48,000, and for 12,000 unit it will be 12,000 into 8, which will amount to 96,000. Now coming to next, that is your expenses. They have said for 5,000 unit it is rupees 2,000. So our next working note would be calculation of expenses per unit. That is expenses cost per unit. So the formula will remain same. Cost per unit is equal to total cost divided by output. The total cost of expenses was 2,000 and the output was 5,000. So 2,000 divided by 5,000 will amount to rupees 0.4 per unit. So expenses cost per unit is 0.4. So it will be 0.4 per unit. So for 8,000 unit it will be 8,000 into 0.4, which is 3,200, and for 12,000 unit it will be 12,000 into 0.4, which will amount to 4,800. Add all the three expenses, you will get your total variable cost. So 5,000 it is 82,000 in total variable cost. For 80,000 unit it will be 1,31,200, and for 12,000 unit it is 2,20,800 as your total variable cost. That is your total A is so much. Now coming to the next expense, that is B1, that is semi-variable expenses. So in the question, your semi-variable expenses will be power charges, repairs, selling and overhead. Now how we will know whether the expenses are fixed or semi-variable? If in the question, as they are given here, 20% fixed, 25% fixed, 50% fixed, it means they are semi-variable. If they give you fixed percentage or variable percentage in the question, it will be your semi-variable expenses. I repeat, if in the question they will give you some as 20% fixed or 50% is variable, if they give such type of percentages in the question, it means that those are semi-variable expenses or cost. So coming to your solution, your first semi-variable cost is rupee of power. So they have said in the question, so we are going to bifurcate this power cost into fixed cost and variable cost. They have said 20% of power cost is fixed. Therefore, the other 80% is variable. So, here we are having for 5,000 unit, your power cost is 2,500. So, total power cost is 2,500. Of the 2,500, 20% is fixed and 20% is fixed and other 80% is variable. So we have to bifurcate into variable and fixed cost for such this. So let's go for the solution. So 20% of 2,500 will amount to 50,000. 2,500, 20% will be 500 and variable will be 2500 into 80%, that is 2000. This is for the 5000 unit of output. So keeping this in mind, we have to find out for 8000 unit and 12,000 unit. As I said, the fixed cost will remain same irrespective of the number of unit produced. I repeat, fixed cost will remain same irrespective of the number of units produced. So obviously fixed cost for all the units of output will be 500. Now coming to the variable cost will vary as per the increase in the output. So let's go for the calculation of variable cost for power. So my next working note will be calculation of cost per unit for power. So as I said, 80% is only variable. So 80% here was 2000. So total variable cost was 2000 and number of unit was 5000. So again 2000 divided by 5000, your variable power expenses per unit is 0.4. So apply this in the question. So for 8000 unit, it will be 8000 into 0.4, which will amount to 3200. And for 12,000 unit, it will be 12,000 into 0.4, which will amount to 4,800. This is all about your power cost. Next semi-variable cost was your repairs. So in repairs, they are saying 25% of the total cost is fixed. So we will again bifurcate into fixed cost and variable cost. First we will go for 5000 unit. So they are saying total repair cost for 5000 unit was rupees 4000. So of this 4000, 25% is fixed and another 75% is variable. So 25% of 4000 will be 1000 and remaining 75% of 4000 will be 3000. This is for the output of 5000 unit. Similarly, we have to find for 8000 and 12,000 unit. I said your fixed cost will remain same irrespective of change in output. So the fixed cost for both the 8000 and 12,000 unit is rupees 1000. We have to find out the variable cost per unit of repair. So my next calculation or working note will be calculation of variable cost per unit of repair. So my total variable cost for repair was 3000 and unit produced is 5000. So 3000 divided by 5000, it will be 0.6 per unit. Your variable cost is 0.6 per unit. So coming to the solution. So for 8000 unit, it will be 0.6 into 8000, which will amount to 4800. And for 12,000, it will be 12,000 into 0.6 is nothing but 7200. Your last semi-variable expenses is selling overhead. So in the question they are saying out of the total selling cost 50% is fixed. So again we are going to bifurcate into fixed cost and variable cost. So coming to the fixed cost, they are saying out of the total cost incurred was 6000 to produce 5000 unit of an output. Of this, 50% is fixed and another 50% is variable. So 60,000, 6,000, 50% will come to 3,000 and variable will come to again 3,000. So as I said, fixed cost will remain same for all the number of units. So 3,000, 3,000. So next we have to find out variable cost per unit of selling overhead. So my next working note will be calculation of variable cost per unit of selling overhead. So cost per unit will be, so total variable cost is 3,000 and number of unit produced is 5,000. So 3,000 divided by 5,000 will amount to 0.6. So cost per unit of variable selling overhead is 0.6. Coming to the solution, so for 8,000 unit it will be 8,000 into 0.6, which will amount to 4,800, and for 12,000 it will be 12,000 into 0.6, which will amount to 7,200. Add all the semi-variable expenses, you will get total, that is your B total. So it will be for 5,000 unit total semi-variable cost is 12,500, and for 8,000 unit it is 17,300, and for 12,000 unit it is 23,700. So we are done with semi-variable cost. Let's go for the last part, that is fixed cost. So my C part is the fixed cost. So given in the question, your fixed cost is nothing but your depreciation and administration expenses, because in the question they only said 100% is fixed. Just see, 100% is fixed. So your fixed cost is nothing but depreciation and administration expenses. So depreciation cost for 5,000 unit was 2 lakhs. I repeat, fixed cost will remain same irrespective of number of unit produced. So it will be remaining same for the other 2 units, that is 2 lakhs, and your administration expenses was 20,000. So add it, you will get a total fixed cost, that is 2,20,000. So your total cost will be A plus B plus C, that is variable cost plus semi-variable cost plus your fixed cost. So for 5,000 unit it is so your total cost for 5,000 unit will be 82,000 plus 12,500 plus 2,20,000, which will amount to 3,14,500. Similarly, for 8,000 unit of output, it will be 3,31,200 plus 17,300 plus 2,20,000, which will amount to 3,68,500. Similarly, for 12,000 unit of output, it will be 2,20,800 plus 23,700 plus 2,20,000, it will amount to 4,64,500. So this will end your flexible cost sum. Now going for your last budget, that is your production budget. Production budget is prepared in reference with your sales budget, and this budget is always produced or shows in quantity. Here we are not going to require any amount, we are prepared in terms of quantity. So production budget is prepared to know the total production for the given period. How much production or units we are going to produce for the given period is known with the help of production budget. The format of production budget is sales, add your closing stock less your opening stock, you will get your production you will get your production. So it's similar to your material budget format is sales minus closing stock, so plus add closing stock less opening stock, you will get the quantity you required for the production for the given period. Let's solve one sum on production budget. So here is the question. This question was asked in the year 2019 and 15. So in the question, they have given you the budget or information for the three months from January to March. They are given here January to March 2008. They have given you 4 product A, B, C and D. They have given you the estimated stock on 1st January 2008. This is nothing but your opening stock. They have given the estimated sales in unit and estimated stock on 31st March 2008. This is nothing but your closing stock. With the help of this information, you have to prepare the budget for the 4th product. So let's go for the preparation of the budget. So production budget. So particular, we are having 4 product A, B, C and D. So first we will start with sales. So sales of estimated sales for product A is 80,000. For product B it is 1,20,000. For product C it is 1,04,000. And for product D it is 96,000 as given in the question. To this add your closing stock, that is stock on 31st March 2008. So closing stock for production A is 24,000. For production B it is 40,000. For production C it is again 24,000. And for production D is 16,000. So add your sales plus closing stock for A. So for A it will be 1,04,000. For B it is 1,60,000. For C it is 1,28,000. And for D it is 1,12,000. To this less your opening stock, that is the stock on 1st January 2008. So the opening stock for material A is 16,000. For material B it is 24,000. For material C 32,000. And for material D it is 24,000. So less it, you will get your planned production as for material A it is 88,000. For material B 1,36,000. For product C it is 96,000. And for product D it will be 88,000. So this will end your sum for production budget. So that's it for today. Only one budget is remaining now, that is your cash budget, which will be dealing in tomorrow's video. So cash budget is one of the important question for your 10 as well as 15 marks. So please don't miss the tomorrow's video. I will be discussing the cash budget in the tomorrow's video. Thank you for today.